Hey, Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And welcome to episode 382.
Yeah!
Welcome to another episode. It's 382 and it's a bit of an out of the blue episode. Who would have thought this,
Out of the blue, yeah.
Out of the blue. Just when we've had a bit of a break, a bit of a hiatus, boom, we're back.
That's right. Just when things were going deathly quiet.
Yes.
We're back.
For this week at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why we're back is because a certain trailer landed recently. So we wanted to break that down, give you our thoughts. We've watched it probably, I don't know, 50 times?
At least, yeah. I've watched it loads. That was going to be my first question to you, actually. It's how many times have you watched it? Yeah. Quite a few.
Quite a few indeedy. Yeah. Because it's one of those trailers, we'll get onto it, of course, in some detail in a minute, but it's one of those trailers that we haven't seen in a while. Because we've had some little teasers knock about, but rewind to the Chibnall era, it wasn't really known for its cool trailers as such, was it? So it's a real treat to have, I don't know how to phrase it, quote unquote, a proper trailer, I guess. Yeah,
it's a pretty epic, a whole 2.5 minutes. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Indeedy. Yes. So, before we crack on with episode 382, very quickly, as usual, make sure you are following and subscribing to this very podcast in your podcast app of choice. You won't miss an episode when it lands, soon to be back to every week, but at the moment, these odd little episodes and also our monthly roundtable. So just making sure you're following so you won't miss any of that stuff. You can do that on any podcast app or network. Just search for the Big Blue Box. You'll find us on there, or you can listen for free over on the website, which is bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. And over there, you can also check out and read the awesome reviews and articles from our amazing writing team. And we had one drop today. If you're listening to this, it was yesterday, from Jordan, who went off to do some location stuff for where the Highlanders was filmed, which is a very cool little location roundup. So yeah, go and check out all the things. Dude, how have you been? Because those of you that haven't listened for a while, or if you haven't been listening, the reason why we're on a break at the minute is because Adam's been very busy traveling across the US, and he's still there at the moment until November. And yeah, how's US life been, dude?
Yeah, it's been fab, mate. It's been great. I'm enjoying travelling around. I'm out here in the scorching heat, but do you know what? Despite all the US goodness, I am at this moment in time wishing I was in grey old Cardiff. And do you know why? Because I'm seeing loads of people tweet that they're at a Doctor Who, is it a prom or a concert, or there is some Doctor Who thing going on in Cardiff tonight with like a live orchestra, and the Mothballs there. I've seen loads of people getting pictures with Stephen Moffat. I'm assuming RTD is going to be there, so no doubt when I next open my phone there'll be pictures of people meeting him. It reminds me of, dare I say, the good old days when we went to the BBC proms together, and just hearing that music live is something absolutely incredible, I think. So yeah, although I'm having a great time out here in the US, and I will be back in the UK for the specials in November before I come back to the US. So yeah, I'm having a great time, but I am wishing I was at that concert today, dude. How about you?
Yeah, the same thing, dude. That's Adam's referring to the 60th anniversary concert.
Yes.
Which is taking place at the moment in Cardiff. And it's for BBC Radio 2, so we might be able to get that back on, listen back to it on, I think it's BBC Sounds, is their podcast and listening network. So we might be able to check it out afterwards, but it does look very cool, and I think they kicked off with "I Am the Doctor."
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, but it's pretty annoying, mate, because I applied for tickets, and so did everybody on our writing team. So there was 5 of us, 6 of us all that applied for tickets. Not one of us got a ticket.
Ah, boo!
So highly disappointing, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Russell, can you have a word, please? Next time, I know you're listening, have a little sneaky chat to whoever runs those things. But it does look cool, though. And you're right. It kind of brings back the old memory of when they used to do these semi-regularly, I guess. We had a couple of Doctor Who concerts. We did the proms. They did that a couple of years. And then we had the Symphonic Spectacular. And they did another one.
Yeah, the Symphonic. Yeah. I couldn't remember what it's called. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so it's very cool that they're doing it for the 60th. So, and I can see there's a little clip on Twitter. There's a big old TARDIS prop in the background, and
brilliant.
Oh, it looks so good. Very cool.
I was thinking actually, I'm almost surprised that they didn't save this Mammoth trailer to drop at the proms and then put online afterwards. Actually, because I mean they might show it there anyway, but I would have thought this was a good opportunity for some good exposure at the proms. But yeah, maybe they'll show it there anyway.
Yeah, probably.
If there's a screen on, I don't even know if there's a screen on stage. I'm assuming there is, because the proms we went to, they would, not every song, but some songs like what's it called? The Gallifrey.
This is Gallifrey.
This is Gallifrey, where they show all the Doctors on the screen, didn't they? And they would sort of show clips, which was quite, you would send a shiver down your spine.
Yeah, because people would cheer, wouldn't they, when they saw their
each Doctor.
Favourite Doctor. And yeah. Oh, mate, how cool was that?
I know the feels. Actually, I'll be able to listen to it if it's on BBC Sounds. I should be able to listen to that after we've finished recording, because the weird thing is, my BBC Sounds works absolutely fine over here in the US, but my partner, who uses a VPN, it won't play at all on it. So I don't know why that is, but at the moment, I seem to be able to use BBC Sounds, so I shall give that a listen once we finish recording.
Yeah, give it a go, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it's done specifically for Radio 2, so one would assume that you'll be able to catch up and listen to it.
Hopefully, yeah. So yeah, that's me. I've been all good, mate. How are you? How's things in good old Blighty? Is it raining? Is it raining there?
It was raining earlier.
Oh.
Yeah. It was raining yesterday as well. We caught the tail end of one of the storms. So one thing we don't really do them that well, fortunately, is we don't do the big storms, right? So where you are in the US, you guys have some big old boomers. Whereas here, we kind of get the tail end of them all the time. So they, as you know, they kick off in the Atlantic and then they die down, but we get just like the tail end of it. So the last couple of days we've been dealing with Storm Agnes, I think. So it's been very windy, rainy, all that stuff. Basically the weather that you'd expect in the UK as we approach October.
Yeah.
Grey, not cold, but not warm, a bit of rain here and there. Not selling it very well to potential visitors to the UK, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, the storms are huge out here, mate, and they come out of nowhere. Like when we come back from Chicago the other day, we went straight to the cinema to see the new Poirot film, Something in Venice, which was actually quite disappointing. And it was like boiling hot, gorgeous sunshine, blue sky, and we were like, it's good to be back in Texas. It's, the Texas heat. And then by the time we come out the film, which was 2 hours, it was like the biggest storm you'd ever seen. We had to stay in the cinema for nearly an hour waiting for it to clear. It was like an apocalypse. Lightning flashing. It was just craziness. And we were like, what happened? It was like the most beautiful sunshine when we walked in. So yeah, that's the thing over here. It changes quickly. Like you just never know from 1 hour to the next what you're going to get. But
yeah, of course. Yeah. Good times.
Just before we crack on with the trailer, I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing? Have you dipped into your season 20 box set? Because that's the other thing that's killing me about being out here, is that I can't get to my season 20 box set is waiting for me, hopefully, when I get home. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying, they're watching this and this extra feature's great. And I've seen a few people saying they're having issues with the picture quality as well, saying that there's like this blurred effect on some of the episodes, and the restoration team are looking into if it's faulty discs. Oh gosh, all that sort of stuff. But how far have you got in yours? Have you dived into it? Yes,
I have. Yeah. So the new kind of making of, if you like, stuff that they've done is very, very cool. So it's like it's not like an overall thing where they go through every detail. What they've done is they've divided it into a few different things. So one of them's being when Janet met Martin, which is Janet Fielding chatting to Martin Clunes of all people.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was in Snake Dance, wasn't he? So they've done that. And then they've done this thing called Look Who's Driving, which is...
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Janet Fielding, Sarah Sutton and Peter Davison go on a bit of a road trip around Europe, which is very funny. Really, really cool. The Behind the Sofa is really good.
Yeah.
You got Peter Davison, Colin Baker and McCoy on one of them, mate, and it's solid gold.
Can't wait to watch that.
So good. Yeah. And the other one I've watched is the... they go to, like, they've done the location stuff on the recent ones. So they go to some of the castle and countryside stuff around the King's Demons and stuff. So it's really cool. And the only episode that I've watched, apart from the special features, is the Five Doctors. As you do.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah. And we'll have to chat about that when you're back and you've watched it, because they've made a few changes to the Five Doctors. So you've got the original edition, but you've also got this 40th anniversary edition, which has got like a new sound mix, updated special effects and whatnot. So I'll be interested to get your thoughts on that when you're back.
Yeah, because I'm not always the biggest fan of updated effects. I just like the old stuff. So I mean, obviously I'm intrigued to watch it and see it.
Yeah, it's a great set. It's a really, really good set, this one. I mean, they're all good, but this one's, yeah.
It's a big old chunky set as well, isn't it? Because for some reason mine was delivered to my neighbours and it was left shoved through their letterbox halfway out of it. And I was just thinking, God, I hope it hasn't been crushed being pushed through there. I wasn't very happy when I saw the picture. But it's a big old set, isn't it? Probably the biggest, in terms of the size of the box. I mean, it's a big one.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So other than that, dude, not much else. Oh, I've started watching the War Games today. Because I was in the mood for it. I've not seen it in ages. I have 3 episodes in on that one. I'm really enjoying it, dude. Really enjoying this watch through of it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I haven't watched that for quite a while, actually. But yes, it's such a good story, isn't it? And there's, even though it's black and white, there is something about that story in black and white. It's just gives me the feels. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's got some depth to it. Yeah, and I'd forgotten a load of nuances and stuff, as you do when you've not seen an episode for years. Literally years it's been since I watched it. And you forget about some of the little things. So I'd forgotten about Smythe when he puts his glasses on and he controls people's minds. And and the screen behind the painting on the wall in the first few eps. And all those little things. And so I'm really enjoying it. And Troughton is just brilliant. Like every episode so far. On fire, dude. So we got some bits coming up on the blog side of things, I guess, on the website. So we've got a couple of reviews coming up. So Dan Slott, his upcoming Doctor Who comic from Titan, Once Upon a Time Lord, we've got some advanced copies of that, so we're going to get that reviewed, and that will be up just before that lands, sort of middle to end of October. And then we've got a couple of big Finish things going on. So so even though it's quiet and we haven't got the new special landing yet, there is some things happening, some stuff going on, so it's all good.
Yeah, actually, I think we should give a shout out to the writing team as well, because a few people have said, on Twitter and in the Discord, that, I really miss you guys. And I say, but actually, although me and Gary are sort of taking a bit of a break or only doing these when we can, we're still loads of content coming out from the Blue Box, from our writing team. They do fantastic articles for us. And also the round table as well. People definitely should check out the round tables. We've been recording once a month because we have such a laugh on them. And that is basically me and Gary with the writing team just sitting down and talking about random stuff. And the last couple we've done with them was just such good fun. So when people say, I miss you guys, there is stuff out there. There's podcasts out there still going. There is loads of articles. Go check them out. We're still rocking and rolling.
Indeedy. Yeah. Yes. Okie dokie, dude. Let's talk trailer.
Let's get into this one. Yeah.
New trailer. So this landed, when did this land? About 5 days ago now, wasn't it? 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, last Saturday.
And it was a weird one because we knew it was coming, but we didn't, if that makes sense. So there was a load of us that got invited to this thing called the Subwave Network on Instagram. You probably saw this as well.
Yeah.
Where in the run up to it, the BBC's official Doctor Who account essentially just dropped a load of cryptic messages and stuff like that in a run up to it. And then we got some news or a mini update about 4 or 5 days out, maybe a week out, that the trailer was probably going to drop before the very entertaining Strictly Come Dancing, which is a show here in the UK that goes out on a Saturday and Sunday night. So we knew it was going to drop at some point. And then in the announcer's speech just before Strictly, they said, thank you for the whatever watching. Coming up, we have whatever dancers are going to be doing their thing. But before then, and then they said something cryptic again about the Doctor. And then we just went straight into it. There was no warm up. We just went straight in. And like you said, it's 2.5-ish minutes. And it very much felt like a proper trailer. You know, in the past, I think some of the people at the BBC have confused the word trailer with teaser now and then, where they said in the past that a trailer's dropped and it ends up being literally 12 seconds of nothing. So which is very much not a trailer. So this was very much in its truest form a very good trailer. We got to see a bunch more scenes with a bit more context that we hadn't seen before, which we'll get into. All the characters that we've been seeing in the previous teasers, and just the whole thing feeling a bit more coherent, if that makes sense. Because in the previous teasers, we'd see a scene where, the Doctor might look at Donna in a certain way in the previous teaser, and everybody starts going mad. It's like, what's happening? Like the Donna doesn't recognise the Doctor, and what's going to happen? Are they going to interact at all? And then you fast forward to the actual trailer for this one, and you can see that they very much are back as a team, and they're all that stuff. So it just feels a lot more rounded, and we've got a better idea of what's coming. So before we dive into some of the details, did you like the trailer? Did you like the vibe? Do you like everything that went on with this one?
Yeah, I did. I honestly thought it was a fantastic trailer, and what got me was how epic everything looked. It almost felt like a film trailer, and what it did a great job of is giving us like great content, but without spoiling anything. Like, I feel like we've seen like great moments in episodes, but I still have no clue what's going on. So it did a great job of giving us things without spoiling too much, I thought. Just the production values look fantastic. I have to say, probably even better than I was expecting, if I'm honest. Like, it looked, as I said, almost film style quality. Yeah, I thought it was a great trailer, mate. And more than anything, it just made me feel like emotions, which is what I've been missing, I think, the last few years, is when you got a trailer, I'd walk away and think, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but I'm not too bothered. And this, I just really am now absolutely cannot wait for these 3 specials to drop. Overall, my whole thoughts on it are pretty positive. I was hoping, if I'm going to nitpick, that we would see Wilf. I really just wanted a clip of Bernard, because, well, we say we know he's in it. We're assuming we know he filmed stuff for it, but obviously he passed away after filming. We don't know. I mean, is there any sort of issue with him being in it? We don't know. Did they finish what they needed? Has he been cut out of it? I very much doubt he has. But I do think it's strange we haven't seen even the tiniest clip of Wilf in any of the trailers. And I desperately want to see Bernard on screen. So I was expecting that. And to be honest, for me, I think it was the only thing missing from the trailer was just having a clip of Wilf in it. That would have absolutely cemented it as a fantastic 10 out of 10 trailer. But yeah, I'm not complaining, mate. I thought it was great. And just hearing Catherine say those words, she's a great actor, I mean, just because it starts with Donna, doesn't it? Saying, what have I lost? It's as if she's starting to remember the stuff that she's not allowed to remember. And then we got that quick flashback to the classic, moment when the Doctor erased her memory. And that again gave me a little shiver down the spine of mixing that flashback into the new trailer. I mean, will they do that in the actual episode, do you think? Or is that just for the sake of the trailer? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because obviously there is a difference in film quality. You can notice it even in just that short, brief moment. But even that, I just sort of thought, this is the only thing really that we know about these specials, is it is going to tie into that thing of the Doctor wiping Donna's memory. That's really the only sort of giveaway from this trailer. Is it's definitely going to, not be centered around that, but it's obviously going to be an important part of it. And I really don't want Donna to die, but the Doctor does say, I don't know if I can save you this time. And that is another moment in the trailer that just made me go, just the acting, the emotion in that short clip. I mean, yeah, honestly, I'm kind of gushing over it a little bit, but I just thought it's a fantastic trailer, mate, and I have watched it quite a few times since. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally agree. And I was going to say this at the end, but yeah, you've picked up on it, which is the visual quality and the visual fidelity of just how filmic it looks and how cinematic it looks. The opening shot, where you've got the after it says official trailer, it's basically just London. You see the Shard, and it's like sunset, and it's like this big wide shot before we see Donna talking to her mum, and even that sets off the tone of the trailer because it just looks like you can tell a mile off that we've got some Disney money.
I was going to say, it's got to be Disney money, right, to look this good, surely.
Yeah. Because the last few years, actually, I don't know, I think from Capaldi's era onwards, they really upped their game in terms of cinematography and, how cool it looks. And it's not to say that the stuff prior to that didn't. It was just, it was just like the step up as we've gone through various eras and generations of Who since 2005. You can tell that the step up every now and then, you can just tell and then when we got to Jodie's era, visually, it just looked fantastic. Most of the time, it looked really good. And so this is now even a step up from that. You can tell that, they've just really just gone top whack on all that stuff. So the production quality and all of the, even like it's kind of weird to say, we'll get onto it, I guess, but you would assume that given the extra budget that they've got, clearly from the investment from Disney and whatnot, that the visual effects side of things would have been improved as well. And it no doubt has, because when you see things of like certain portals and the TARDIS, knocking around and that sort of thing, it has. But they've also reverted back to practical effects as well, which is such a good move. So old BP is a physical puppet. We're going back to like Yoda, The Empire Strikes Back kind of vibes here, where you've got actually somebody controlling a physical puppet and doing that stuff. And then you have some of the what they called the Wrarth warriors as well. They look like the giant ants kind of thing. They're physical as well. You don't see, if we step back maybe a decade, a lot of these things would have been done visually in terms of visual effects, like they did all of the, like in the some of the Star Wars films in the prequels. I think there was one of the films where every single one of the clone troopers was a CG generated character. There was nobody live action in any of the clone troopers. Yeah. So now we've come back to this feel of like, if we can do something practically, let's do that, because it looks so good. But anyway, so the whole visual quality of everything and the cinematography and just how gorgeous it looks, I think once we see it, if you're fortunate enough to have a decent sized TV and a 4K TV and stuff, this is going to look just amazing, like the best it's ever looked. So yeah, visually amazing. And then let's carry on with Donna then, because Donna seems to be, which is not a bad thing, the focus of the story. Previously, when we saw the teaser, it was like, well, Donna's in it, but is she there to be the focus of the story with the Doctor, or is she just there to fill in some of the gaps, because we know that Donna's daughter's in it? So is it going to be more about her, or are they going to focus purely like a grudge match between the Doctor and the Toymaker, which we know is an official, he is the Toymaker now, and then Donna's just going to be there? But no, it seems to be very much a Donna focus. And like you said, Catherine Tate, she's a brilliant actress, right? Absolutely brilliant. So what do you think about this being kind of bringing back the whole DoctorDonna thing from RTD's era? Because they could have chose anyone from the past, well, at least back to 2005. They could have chose any companion. It could have been Martha come back. It could have been anybody. So why do you think Russell's gone with DoctorDonna at this point for the 60th? I
think, I am happy it's DoctorDonna because I love this pairing. I think he's gone with them because he knows how popular they were. I have to be honest. I mean, I like Rose to a point, but Donna's definitely my favourite of Tennant's companions. But if it had been the Doctor and Rose coming back for the 60th, which again I could totally see happening, I have got to be honest, I don't think I'd be as excited, because what I love about Tennant and Tate is the unmistakable chemistry they have. And I think Russell knows that. And if he wants to make the show appeal to not just the fan base, but also the general public again, I think he knows that the chemistry between those two is just magic. And you can see it even in the clips that we've got in this trailer. You know, they are fantastic together. And also they hold their own. I mean, as I said, Catherine, the way she delivers her lines, although she's known as being primarily a comedian and you know, her sketch shows and stuff, if you watch the start of that trailer, you know, she really is saying those words off the page with fantastic delivery, the emotion. You believe what she's saying. I just think it was an inspired choice to bring these two back. And I think Russell knows exactly what he's doing by having the DoctorDonna. It's interesting, though, because I found the ending to Donna's story where the Doctor wipes her memory heartbreaking at the time, because I love the character so much, and I always felt so sad for Donna that she'd achieved all these things and she'll never know. And I always had mixed feelings about that, if I'm honest, because I love it because I think it's daring and it's something different, but it always pained me that Donna would never know what she'd done. So maybe this will reset that a little bit, but how they're going to get around it is the thing that intrigues me and worries me the most, because I'll be honest, I don't want Donna to die. And I also don't want to reset. I don't want it to get to the end of 3 specials and be like, it's fine, I've wiped her memory again, she'll never know. It's all back to, you know, we hate a reset button in Doctor Who because it just makes, you know, everything feel a bit lazy. So I don't want to reset, but I also don't want Donna to die. So I'm a little bit conflicted in terms of that. But
yeah, I read you, dude. It's going to be fascinating to find out what the angle is they're taking with this, because even if they killed off Donna before, there's a saying now, isn't there, that with any kind of sci-fi or anything like that no one's ever really dead, are they?
No, like, especially not in the Moffat era.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you can bring back anybody, really. You know, there's a way of doing that. But so that's like hurdle 1 done already. You don't have to bring back a dead character. So Donna's already around. She just doesn't remember anything. Yeah. So what's going to be fascinating is how they get round the whole, because the way that David Tennant acted that before was so brilliant, where he said, you know, if she remembers me, her mind will burn up and she'll die, sort of thing. And he delivered that with such conviction and so on. So now we are fast forward to now. It's like, well, you told us that she was going to die if she remembered you, and now she does. So how have you? I don't know. It'll be cool to see how Russell's done that, and also, like you said, at the end, now that she remembers the Doctor, do they press the reset button? Do they find some way somehow to allow her to keep her memories and live on? It's it's going to be cool, and I think this does, because there was a lot of chat, wasn't there, before any of these teasers landed, whether this was an alternative universe where this Doctor and this Donna might not even been the same as we watched before, but obviously now they've shown the flashbacks to when we saw, you know, previously. It obviously is. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. And like you said, Russell knows what he's doing. He knows, you know, we have trust as always in Russell for the most part. So it should be it should be cool. And she does. You said that she's obviously known for being a comedian most of the time, and there was a couple of lines that she delivered in this sort of very funny that we've seen already. So
yeah, true. Yeah,
you know, when she sees Beep for the first time and she flips out, she's like, "We've got a Martian in the shed," and then the line that everybody's talking about, which is very cool, where she's like, "Something so bad the TARDIS has run away," and the Doctor's very sheepishly like, "Yeah, yes," and she's like, "Right then, we go and kick its ass," you know. So she's off, and that's very much like her attitude with the Centauran story, you know, when she's like. Taking out Centauran, she's like back of the neck, you know, that kind of typical humorous Donna. So a great mix of emotional stuff and funny stuff. which is what you want, right? From Donna.
It is what we want, because I think that's what we loved about, series 4, back in the day, was that, again, the chemistry, you got the emotion, you got the action, you got the drama, and both Tennant and Tate managed to just deliver that in spades. They're both so good at it. I am slightly worried, actually, because we know this incarnation of the Doctor, the 14th, is obviously going to be short-lived. He's going to get 3 specials and be gone. I mean, McGann's probably sat in the wings thinking, well, maybe my tenure wasn't so short after all. But because he's only got those 3 specials, maybe he's going to... I wonder if he's going to sacrifice himself to save Donna. I wonder if that's going to play into it. That might be one of my predictions, if you like. I feel like... Because he's got to die somehow, hasn't he, the 14th Doctor, to regenerate into Ncuti. So, or at least...
Of course, yeah.
Actually, we'll get onto that regeneration bit later, but there's a few theories I've got on that as well. But I am wondering if he'll somehow sacrifice himself to save Donna. But whether that'll affect her memories or not, I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's talk about David Tennant then, because he, like Catherine Tate, seems to have just seamlessly, effortlessly just slipped back into being the Doctor. I mean, I know he's had plenty of practice at it by now, let's be honest, but it never it's just amazing how whenever he comes back, it's like he's never been away. It's and it is strange for a lot of actors to do that. There's been loads of interviews in the past with people like off the top of my head when they were filming Star Wars and Carrie Fisher came back to film her stuff. She was just all over the place in bits because she just hadn't done that stuff in so many years. When it came round to filming Leia again, she just couldn't get her head into it to begin with. She really struggled to get back into the role that everybody knew. It was her role. Yeah. Whereas David Tennant, I don't know, it just seems like he just walks back on somehow, and it's like he just filmed his last scene yesterday. And he's just back into it. So he's, looks amazing. So that's amazing that David Tennant can do that. Could just slip back into it. And so his performance is brilliant, as always. He does the whole shouty thing now and then. He does the whole kind of somber thing that we expect. You mentioned the regeneration stuff that's going to happen, presumably at the end or at some point into the next Doctor. But I think a bigger question is how he is back more than his regeneration into the next Doctor. So why do you think this version of the Doctor is back? Because that's kind of there's no rule book in place, right? There's no rule book in terms of when you're a writer on Doctor Who, how you handle a regeneration. Just the rule of thumb over the last 60 years has been when this version of the Doctor has come to an end, they regenerate into a completely different Doctor. So there's nothing to say that you couldn't regenerate into, a previous incarnation, because it might have something to do with the whole, when with the Power of the Doctor episode where Jodie sees some previous Doctors in this place.
It's at the edge.
Yeah. It could have something to do with that, where the previous incarnations of the Doctors are never truly gone forever and dead. They're in this place somewhere, and they might be able to come back from that place. But maybe that's it, or maybe there's a completely different sci-fi reason behind this. But do you think that's a bigger question at the minute, is how come this version is back?
Yeah, I mean, that I can't think... That's one of the things I haven't figured out. I just can't work out, because RTD has been very clear that this is the 14th Doctor, not the 10th. So we're told it's a different Doctor. But obviously he looks a lot like the 10th Doctor, just a tad older. So I don't know why he's chose that face. I mean, is it going to play into when the 12th Doctor saw his reflection in that barrel and he started thinking back to the Fires of Pompeii episode and why did I choose this face? I can't see RTD going down that route, to be honest. I think it's going to be something else. And I think it may well play into the edge. I've got a feeling that is going to be a part of the story, these Doctors waiting in the edge, because I don't know, I just feel that's going to play into it, basically. And actually, the question I wanted to ask you was, I know a lot of people have sort of got this issue of, well, if he's the 14th Doctor, why is David playing it just like the 10th Doctor? I think he is slightly different. But on the other hand, it doesn't bother me that he's also very similar to 10, because it's the Doctor, it's the same character. So why wouldn't he have very similar characteristics? It doesn't bother me, in other words, if he's playing the 14th Doctor a lot like the 10th Doctor. It won't bother me in the slightest, but some people are a bit annoyed about it. And I just wondered how you feel. Do you feel like David should try and put a different slant on this take of this Doctor? Should he play this Doctor differently if he's the 14th Doctor? Or do you think he should just do what he does best and just play the Doctor as he always has? Because I think there's a slightly darker edge, slightly more unhinged edge to this Doctor, judging by the trailers. But how do you feel about it? If it does turn out that he's really similar to the 10th Doctor, will you look back and think, oh, well, David could have done this, he could have done that? Or do you think he just is best doing what he does best?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, he's just playing the 10th Doctor.
The Doctor? Oh, okay. You think it's the same?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there is a slightly darker tone here and there. But I think that would apply if he was playing the 10th Doctor anyway. I think, because I think that's just what the story requires. So to me, he's Yeah. Sorry.
Go on, mate.
Yeah, to me, he's just exactly the same as he was when he was the 10th Doctor. To me, anyway. Yeah.
The reason I'm saying a slightly darker edge, what I'm picking up from the trailer is he seems like the broodier side of the 10th Doctor to me. He's got that slightly sad look on his face where he's not the 10th Doctor from Series 2, for example, where him and Rose are running about giggling. And I don't see that sort of fun side of the 10th Doctor in many of the clips we've seen. It seems like the more melancholy. I don't know if he's going to go down the Time Lord Victorious route. I doubt it will go that dark. But I wouldn't mind if it did, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind if this Doctor had a slightly darker edge. But I feel like he's playing it more like the later 10th Doctor, if you like.
Right. I get
broody.
That. Yeah. Because there's the only times in the trailer, at least, that we see him jovial is when they land on the helipad at Unit, and he sees Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and he's quite happy to see her and stuff. And then the little thing where Donna says, the TARDIS has run away, and he's it's kind of comedic and a bit light in that respect. But yeah, you're right. The rest of it, he's a bit more melancholy. Maybe because he knows what's coming.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe it's one of those stories where he knows exactly what's going to happen to Donna. He just doesn't want it to happen. So you're probably right there. But overall, David Tennant's performance as the 15th Doctor.
No, 14th, you're right.
14th.
Yeah.
No, it's 14th, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
As the 14th Doctor is just great, dude. Can't fault it yet.
No.
Until we see the actual thing. But
that's the same. And I mean, people will say, oh, you're gushing over David Tennant, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, but you just look at the 2 minutes, that his performance in that 2 minutes, and you're getting emotion, you're getting comedy, you're getting everything. So, yeah, I mean, if you can do that in 2 minutes, then the rest of it, I feel, is pretty safe in the 3 hours that we've got for these specials.
Yeah, indeedy. Let's rattle through some of the smaller bits that popped up throughout the trailer then. So, what are your thoughts on Meep then? Meep the Beep. Are you glad that we've got like a very, very old extended media character in Doctor Who? And do you think he looks cool? I mean, I said to my wife, I said, you probably think that Beep looks pretty cute, right? And she's like, no, he looks bloody terrifying. So, I think he looks kind of cool. They look kind of cool. It's probably not he or a she, is he? But I think they look very cool.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely think it's, again, how on earth has this character from this old 70s comic strip been brought to life, and how is that going to fit into the story? Another one of those questions I can't wait to find out the answer to. I think visually, fantastic. I mean, as I said, you can tell some money's been pumped into this. Although it's you said it's a practical person in a suit on set, they've obviously enhanced it with some CGI, obviously, because it just looks brilliant. I can't wait to see Meep. I really can't. And obviously voiced by Miriam Margolyes. No matter what you think of her as a person, I mean, I personally, I like her. But I think she's great casting for the voice of Meep. Absolutely perfect. You know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where that character slots in, because it's obviously something to do with Donna, because it's in Donna's house or Donna's shed or whatever. So I think it links into, I think, what the Doctor was saying in the trailer about, he's essentially saying that all roads lead back to Donna Noble. For some reason, you know, even though her memory's been wiped and so on, there's like this something to do with fate or destiny or something, but he's essentially saying that everything leads back, which is why he's there, you know, essentially. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where old Beep, and he is very old. They are very old, like you said, from a very old comic book strip. But yeah, visually it looks very cool. Kate Lethbridge-Stewart back as UNIT with a very, very flashy new headquarters in London.
Yeah, Stark Towers has been taken over. I mean, it definitely does look like that. I mean, again, that was one of the visually striking things in the trailer was, you know, the new UNIT headquarters just looks fantastic. You know, the helipad as well, which we know, you know, the real thing is on the floor, but you know, they've made it look like it's up in the sky, and it looks very convincing. So again, I'm not the biggest fan of CGI, so I'm very critical if it looks good or bad, if you know what I mean. Like, bad CGI to me really annoys me, because I think movies and that are so over-reliant on it. But when they get it right, and when CGI looks good, I will be the first to say it. And that UNIT tower looks really impressive to me. I think there's some good CGI there. Kate Stewart back, I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the character because I find her a bit bland, but I feel like she could work well with Tennant. And again, even in the short little clips that we get of those two, I felt like there could be a bit of fun there. So I'm not going to go too hard on bashing Kate Stewart as a character. I mean, she's not bad. I don't think she's a bad character. I just find her a bit boring, and I'm never that excited to see her back, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think in terms of this trailer and the scenes that we got of her, I thought, okay, yeah, she might be, you know, might bring something to it. Yeah, and there's obviously something going down that the world is aware of. It's not just, you know, one of those stories where an alien's about to blow up the Earth or take over, and it's just the Doctor that's aware of it. Whatever companion. This is global. Yeah, you can tell that something big is happening, because there's a couple of really cool scenes in the trailer where you see something coming through a portal, and then all the streets just exploding in fire, and then there's like another one of those big wide shots of London, and you can see that a massive portion of London is on fire, basically. Yes. Something's going down. So we suspect that that's either something that the Toymaker has manifested, which we'll come on to, or it could be the Wrarth characters who are seemingly staging some sort of invasion. So we'll see what's going on with there. But yeah, this is, you can tell that UNIT's very much in it, as well as the Doctor, because yeah, they've got their swanky new headquarters, and it's in London, and then everything's going down in London. So it's a big step up from, like, it wasn't that long ago, the Chibnall era, it was closed down due to funding, wasn't it? Do you remember UNIT was just closed down? They've gone from that to having the biggest skyscraper in London somehow. So I am wondering how that happened. Somebody did point out as well that the last time when Doctor said goodbye to Donna, he did give her that lottery ticket. So what's she done with all that money? Because presumably it was a winning ticket. So I'm wondering if Donna gave UNIT a bit of cash to build a new... I don't know. Oh, well, but that's probably won't even get mentioned. It'll probably be forgotten about. But it's a curious point that someone made. You know, what happened to that lottery ticket that Donna was given? You know, she did shove it down her top, didn't she? So maybe she lost it, knowing Donna. £1 billion ticket just lost in all the confetti on her wedding day. Yeah. And before we move on, talking of the UNIT tower, there's a really cool scene where the Doctor and Donna are being transported to UNIT, and in the background you can see one of the other helicopters is sort of winching the TARDIS up and is carrying it on a cable. That's very reminiscent of the Day of the Doctor, you know, when they pop the TARDIS down in London, and you've got Matt Smith's Doctor hanging off the bottom and stuff. So that's very kind of
we've seen that image before of the TARDIS being winched around and dropped off. So it makes you wonder why the Doctor didn't fly it there, why it had to be winched. But
it's funny, isn't it, how UNIT always seem to have to winch the TARDIS in when it can fly. It's funny because I didn't even notice the TARDIS in that shot the first time I saw the trailer. I think I was too busy looking at Tennant because he's just sat there looking like you can just see there's a lot on the Doctor's mind in that helicopter shot. And I was just looking at the Doctor. I didn't even notice the TARDIS. It's strange as well, isn't it, how that's quite a simple shot and it's just of a helicopter and someone in it. But even that, there's something about it that just makes this feel a bit epic. And I don't know why. It's like, why is a shot of a helicopter so good? It's like, you know what I mean? It's just a shot of a helicopter window with the Doctor in it. But yeah, it's something about it. I think it's just something about the way that the Doctor looks, maybe, and the fact the TARDIS is being carried behind him. I don't know. But I think it's a great shot, but I don't know why.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it looks very cool. Yeah. Okay, the Toymaker has been confirmed because we didn't, although we had a pretty good guess, didn't we?
Yeah, sorry, I was about to shout worldwide premiere, but I thought
premiere,
yeah.
Yeah, so we all assumed, didn't we? Pretty confidently, we had a pretty good educated guess that this was going to be the Toymaker, but has now been confirmed. Neil Patrick Harris is the Toymaker.
The Toymaker.
So are you happy to see an old character back in Modern Who, or see how this pans out?
No, I'm happy. I am very happy, and I think it's a great character to bring back. The BBC just posted a clip from the Toymaker. The last scene of the Doctor defeating him with the William Hartnell clip. They just posted it on their YouTube, and I watched it last night, and it's so good. And I just thought, yeah, this is a character we've not seen for a very long time, and it seems like the right time to bring him back. I think Neil Patrick Harris would be great playing him as well. He wasn't in the trailer as much as I thought he was going to be, and I think that's a plus, because I feel like the other trailers we've had, maybe there was sort of too much of him. So I think in this, we did get some great clips, and one of the ones that really stands out to me that I sort of missed the first time around watching the trailer, but the one that I love is there's this quick, very dark shot of him, and it almost looks like he's operating a puppet. You know what I mean? He's like, it looks like he's hovering over a box or something, and he's what do you call those things? He's got like puppet strings on his hands, and I'm thinking, what's going on there? Because that looks really intriguing to me. I think he's going to be great. I'm very excited to see him as the Toymaker. It's weird,
he's a great actor as well. Yeah,
he is, and it's weird how they didn't confirm his identity, because a lot of the trailer builds up to something's coming back from a long time ago. Somebody I haven't, there's like this mystery around the character, but then I think in the press release it just named him as the Toymaker. So it is official, but it hasn't been sort of, I don't know. It's like we all know it's the Toymaker, but it's funny how they haven't sort of named him in the trailer.
Yeah, and there's another cool shot where he's again back on the helipad at Unit. He's in this huge cannon.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, and he's ready to cut loose with that somehow, and you see the Doctor legging out to basically say, "Look, you're here for me. This is between you and me," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued to see. First of all, again, this is weird because not only are we bringing back a Doctor from before, but they're doing that thing where they bring back a villain, an alien, whatever you want to call it, from the classic years. And again, it's like, how do you bring that character back convincingly? Because sometimes it's take a bit of a shortcut in some TV shows where it's like, well, they're just back because they're back. There's not much sort of into it. You don't have to, which is not a bad thing, because you don't want to run into a Star Wars situation where in the sequel trilogy you had to go and read a bloody book to realise how certain people came back and why this planet's there. And so I get it, you don't want huge amounts of exposition needed, but it will be interesting to see how that particular character is back, because I was surprised, because this is the 60th. I was surprised, and don't get me wrong, I'm surprised in a good way, that they didn't have this be a Dalek story or something, and that's what you would expect, I guess, because they're the big hitters, aren't they? Like the Daleks, the Cybermen, they're the ones that you wheel out, no pun intended, for the big stories. So yeah, I'm glad that they might be in it. Who knows? But at the moment, it's not. So, but yeah, it's going to be great to watch that character do his thing. And like I said, he's a really good actor as well.
Yeah,
so,
and it introduces the character to a whole new audience, doesn't it? Like you said, everybody knows the Daleks and the Cybermen, and they've been massively overused since the show come back. That I think even the general public wouldn't be very excited by the Daleks, if I'm honest. So to have the Toymaker come in, I think will grab people's attention. He is a great character as well. So yeah, I'm like you, I'm absolutely chuffed. We assume the main protagonist, unless there's somebody working with him, like the Master or someone. But yeah, I hope it's just him, to be honest. I don't really want any, but I was working for these guys the whole time. I don't want any of that. Let's just have the Toymaker do his thing, because he's a strong enough character to stand on his own,
Yeah, and they've done that as well a few times already, haven't they? It's like a conglomerate of other villains all sort of mucking in together.
Yeah.
We had that with the whole... when did they first do that properly? It was like the Pandorica thing.
I was thinking of the Pandorica, where everybody showed up, which was cool at the time, but it's been done a bit too much now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed, mate. Yes. And then we got, I mentioned earlier very briefly, but we got a couple of little scenes with Donna's daughter.
Yes, yeah.
In this one. So that's going to be, Rose. That's, I'm not sure how much of a part she's going to play in everything, because she's obviously, I think it's going to be one of those things where, because Donna's had no memory of anything at all to do with the Doctor and everything that she did with the Doctor, they've just grown, her daughter's grown up just to have a very normal life, seemingly, and, a normal mum and everything. So I think there's going to be like a double shock factor. It's going to be Donna, who obviously remembers what's happened and she's, rocking and rolling again. But then you've also got her daughter that's, because she's seen Beep and, she's seen the things in the sky that we saw from the previous teaser and things like that. It's like a shock for her as well, right? Because it's like, holy crap, my mum's done all this cool stuff. And, so it'll be, again, there's so many interesting things that are coming up, I think. And her character is also one of those. How does she fit into the story? Because I don't think she's going to be a key role, but I think she is going to be, I think she's going to have to slot into this somehow, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the thing. I don't remember seeing any clip of the Doctor, Donna and Rose together. There are clips of the Doctor and Rose together. I mean, I might be wrong. There might be clips of the three of them, but nothing springs to mind. And it's mainly Rose talking to Meep, isn't it? And I wonder if Meep's going to trick Rose into thinking they're this sweet little, there's monsters, save me. And then she's going to turn round and, kidnap Rose or something. I don't know. I reckon Rose might be tricked by Meep somehow. But I don't know. I don't remember many clips. I remember there's a bit with the Doctor and Rose looking at the spaceship in the sky, but not that many scenes of Rose with the other characters that I could think of.
No. And there's plenty of opportunity as well. There's a few scenes when they're in Donna's house because Donna's mum's knocking around. She's back.
Sylvia.
And she's very, very much not happy with the Doctor because she gives him a good old smack.
Oh, I feel that slap every time I watch it.
Yeah. So she's
that's been building for a while, I feel.
Because she was really angry. Remember then when we left Donna before, when he wipes her memory, and there was not a good vibe at all between the Doctor and Sylv, because she was, I think, the Doctor essentially said, she's like one of the most brilliant people in the universe. And she's like, I know that, she's my daughter sort of thing, when she sat there with Wilf. And the Doctor says, it wouldn't hurt to tell her. Why don't you tell us on time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that bit.
Yeah, and Sylv's face is like thunder.
Yeah.
So those two didn't exactly part on the greatest of terms, right? I think Sylv was happy that the Doctor was buggering off because that way she's not in danger anymore. But at the same time, there's a few little home truths came knocking on the door then, and she wasn't too happy. So
I don't think Sylvie's going to be happy to see the Doctor back at all.
No, not at all.
I think Wilf will be. That's why I'm kind of hoping. I really hope Bernard's still in it. There's no reason to believe he isn't, but I think Wilf will be really pleased to see the Doctor back. But yeah, I don't think Sylvia will be, especially judging by that that slap. There is a bit where the
Yes,
Doctor
yeah.
sort of, I think someone's shooting through the doorway. The Doctor puts his hand down. It looks like he's almost stopping a bullet with his hand. There's a very quick clip of that as well, and that to me looks like it's in Sylvia's house. So if her house ends up getting shot to pieces, she probably really won't be happy with the Doctor.
Yeah. And there's another scene as well where the Doctor seems to be talking to someone. This woman character, I can't.
Oh yes.
I think we've had her name already, but I can't remember. So she's another character that's in this as well. Again, I don't think she's going to be a key player, but she's. You can see the Doctor's kind of laying out what's happening right now in the story, and she seems quite intrigued, and so.
I wonder if she's working for UNIT or something. That character, because the Doctor seems to be explaining Donna to her, doesn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it Ruth Madeley? Is that the character?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Not the character. Sorry, that's her real name. I don't know what the character's name is.
Yeah. I think it's her. Yeah. And so, although we've had, like you mentioned earlier, some fairly decent stuff land in the trailer over the couple of minutes, I still think there's lots to come across these 3 episodes. That I think the trailer's just the tip of the iceberg. I think we've got some nice setup for what's going to come. But yeah, so those other characters like Rose and the woman that we think is from UNIT and Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and some other people, I think, dude, we've got some way bigger things that's going to drop that we haven't seen yet.
It does make you wonder how much is being held back, doesn't it? Because I was saying about getting that fine line between giving us stuff to get excited about and spoilers, big spoilers. And it seems to me like they've done a good job so far. But the other thing was, I suppose, I wasn't in any way disappointed in this trailer, but I suppose with all the rumours kicking around about possibly Matt coming back and Capaldi, which I can't see ever happening, I suppose there was part of me that hoped, because we knew that all the other trailers were just clips from the first episode, so there were two hours worth of footage that we haven't seen anything from. I suppose I was hoping there might be like a little bow tie being straightened, or maybe some eyebrows appear, which I'm now starting to think is not going to happen. And I think I'm okay with that, actually. But I was sort of wondering, is everything in this clip, everything in this 2.5-minute trailer, have we got stuff from all 3 specials in that trailer? Or is this still clips from the first episode? That's the thing I'm not 100% clear about.
Yeah, I think it's stuff from all 3.
I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, I think it is. But I think there's going to be loads more to come.
I think there's a lot it's being held back. I really do. Because, I think, to be fair, if I was Russell putting out this trailer, I'd be thinking, get a load of that. That is a lot already, right? That's a lot to get excited about. But to think there might be, a load of stuff that he can't wait for us to see that he's holding back. That's the feeling I'm getting. That this is perhaps just the tip of the iceberg. And if it is, my God, we're in for a real treat, because this is amazing in itself.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And just lastly for me, then, we have to talk about the very, very brief next Doctor at the end. So we see Ncuti at the very end looking... how do you describe the expression on Ncuti's
Giving
face in this? Then he's kind of... Yeah, he's definitely giving a look. It's kind of a look of like... He's opening his eyes slowly, and there's a little bit of a smile developing there. So, although we don't want to take anything away from the specials that are coming up, it's going to be great having a brand new Doctor, right?
Yeah, and I saw some people weren't happy that he was in the trailer. They were saying, it took them out of it. I don't get that, to be honest. I thought it was really nice to have Ncuti included in the trailer. I'm intrigued by the background. I'm assuming it's the real background this time and not one they've put in to hide spoilers. So I'm going to put my money on that's either the Edge, where all the other Doctors are, or it could be Gallifrey, I feel. So, because there's a sort of orangey tinted background to him, isn't he? The other thing it could be he's back on the cliff where Jodie regenerated, because you can, if you listen to the clip of the regeneration sound effect that plays over him, you can hear a tiny second of Jodie. And people are theorising that maybe after everything's done in the specials, the Doctor goes back to the cliff and Jodie regenerates into Ncuti. Now, personally, I don't want to see that happen because I just... No, not just because I just feel like it will... Again, it's a bit of a reset. That's the only reason I don't want it to happen. Nothing to do with Jodie or anything. But I just want to, I want the 14th Doctor to be the 14th Doctor, and I want him to regenerate into Ncuti personally. But
gotcha.
But because you can hear Jodie in a split second of that regeneration sound effect when we see him in the trailer, there is a theory he could be Jodie regenerating into him. We'll see. But I reckon he's at the edge in that clip. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's there. I think that's the regen into that Doctor. Yeah. We will see, but I think it's cool to see him in it because it's a tiny little reminder that although you've got some great Doctor Who coming up that is going to feature some characters that you've loved for years, let's not forget that once the celebration, the celebratory side of this has been done, we then have to look forward to like the new stuff that's coming, right? So definitely. that's a nice little reminder that although this is all great, there's a new Doctor waiting in the wings, ready to do his thing. So I think it's cool. The whole Jodie thing coming back to regen. So it'd be weird, wouldn't it, to her to regen into the 14th, to then him to go back to Jodie, for her to then regen back to Ncuti. Because then you get into that thing, well, if you're just going to go back to Jodie, does Ncuti become the 14th
Exactly.
Doctor? Was Tennant's Doctor just a temporary... like the War Doctor, it's as sad as it sounds. Not a lot of people count the War Doctor when they're going through the list of Doctors. It's like, reel off all the Doctors and they always breeze past him. So would this Doctor be treated in that same way where it's like, well, he's not really the 14th Doctor, is he? He was just like a little side note before we got to the act. So I don't know. That seems a bit of a convoluted way of doing it to me. I mean, like you said, mate, it could be a thing, but I don't know.
I felt like they just used the same soundtrack. It just because it is like I had to listen to it about 5 times to hear Jodie because I couldn't work out what people are talking about. So I can't hear Jodie, but you can just hear her sort of last gasp as Ncuti lifts his head, and you hear the regeneration sound. You can just hear it. But I feel like it's just they've used the sound effect. We shall see, mate. It's only is it 8 weeks now? It's not long.
Yeah,
it's actually creeping up on us, which is exciting. Yeah.
Indeedy. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap up, dude?
Actually, just one thing, which was actually the last note I made, and it's so I watched the trailer once more just before we signed in to record this. I thought I'll just give it one more watch, get myself pumped up for the podcast and just give it one more watch. And I'm looking at the clips and I'm thinking, I'm going to talk about this, going to talk about that, and I was just thinking about how the trailer's making me feel, because this is important to me. I think that's the thing I've been missing recently from Doctor Who is this buzz, and the trailer gives me that buzz for sure. And it's the music as much as anything. I was like, yes, the music in this. So the way it jumps from exciting to the bit where it really quietens down when the Doctor says to Donna, I don't think I can save you this time. There's like this underlying chord of dread. And I was just like, the music in this trailer is fantastic. And I'm assuming it's Murray. I don't know. It could be Blair Mowat or someone like that, but I'm assuming it's Murray. But the music, honestly, is so good in that trailer. Everything just flows, and music can make a big difference to anything you're watching. It really sets the tone. And so it was like the last note I made, and I thought, well, we always talk about the music, but I'd sort of overlooked it because of everything else in the trailer. But it's brilliant. It really helps to give you that, yes, I can't wait for this feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly the same, mate. Yeah, we assume it's Murray because we had the announcement that Murray's back to do that stuff, and so we assume, rightly or wrongly, it's wrong to assume, I know, but I think we can safely say that's Murray's stuff. It does get you pumped, mate. It does. It's a great trailer. It's a very, very well placed trailer, and it does exactly what they should do. What a trailer should do. It gives you enough of an appetite to want to see the actual thing without giving you all the sweet stuff that you're going to see in the actual episode. So thumbs up, mate. All round, I think.
Do you think we'll get because as I said, although 8 weeks is not long, it's still long in terms of keeping the hype train going. And let's be fair, it had just started to wane. I think we were saying we had it gone a bit quiet for the 60th anniversary, and I think this was much needed, and it's got everyone hyped up again. But hype dies down pretty quick. You know, we've got to keep going for another 8 weeks. It is 8 weeks. I keep saying that. That's right, isn't it? It's something like that.
I think so.
Yeah. So will we get... Because this is so epic. I mean, I think it almost sounds selfish of me to want another trailer, but I'm thinking, will we get anything else now leading up to the 60th? Because we've got to have something to keep going. As much as we love this trailer, we can't just keep putting this out for the next 8 weeks and expect people to not get bored of it. So I'm assuming we might get something.
Yeah, I think I don't think we're going to get another trailer.
No. Okay.
I think we might get another little... We'll probably get like a little TV spot that they've made potentially for US audiences or whatever to pop on like Disney Plus and things like that. So I think we're going to get a couple of little spots, not trailers. But I think we'll get more so things to do, things that are related to the show. So we had that today, right? So we had on the BBC Three Twitter or X account, we had the Access All Areas show being confirmed and
forgot about that,
and all that. Yeah, so Stefan Powell's going to be hosting that, and there's a couple of cool photos with him and David Tennant and in front of the TARDIS and whatnot. And that's called Doctor Who Unleashed.
Yeah.
Which is replacing, you know, it's kind of like the spiritual successor to Confidential.
Yes.
So that's been announced. So I think we're going to have some clips of Stefan, you know, behind the scenes and whatnot in the run up to it, and little like behind the scenes-y kind of things like that. So I don't think we're going to have any more big content drops from the actual episodes or any trailers, but I think we will have some little sneaky bits that land between now and then.
Yeah, a few more breadcrumbs. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so to wrap up then, is this a thumbs up from you? Don't want to put a score on it, but overall you're feeling good about it.
Yes, definitely, mate. I am feeling good about it, and I'm very excited for what's to come, definitely.
Very good. Right, on that note then, let's stick a pin in it there for episode 382.
Alrighty.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Big Blue Box Podcast. That was 382. It's good to be back, dude. Just out of nowhere, like we materialised, like the TARDIS. Just boom, there we are.
That's it. Timey-wimey. We love it.
Yeah, timey-wimey stuff indeed. And it was great to chat through the trailer, Bud. When you messaged me the other day and said, dude, we need to do a trailer breakdown, I was like, yes, we so need to do that. So it's been good to chat through the new trailer and so on. And I think more than ever, we are pumped up and ready for the specials to land in about 7-8 weeks time, which is great. So we will be back doing some other bits and pieces. Adam's definitely back to review the actual episodes when they land, starting in November. Yeah, so we'll be back doing that stuff. In a run up to that, we'll have another 2 round tables. So we'll have the October one, obviously, and then the November one, we'll get everybody round and we'll do a group review of the first special and whatnot. So there's some stuff coming. And so, yeah, to get prepared for that stuff, make sure you're subscribing and followed on whatever podcast app you listen to your podcasts on. Give us a like and a follow, and you won't miss episodes as they land. And also head over to the website, which is bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to there for free as well. Plus, you can check out all of the articles and reviews from the writing team. So go and do all those things. And also check out Adam's channel over on YouTube. It is, of course, The Geek's Handbag.
Geek's Handbag, yeah, go check out my YouTube channel. I had a couple of new vids drop recently. So yeah, go and have a look at those.
Have a nosy. Mm-hmm. Okay, until next time. My name's Garry.
My name's Adam.
And remember...